All right, it's your coach that knows recruits the most. Got an exclusive interview with you guys. I got my guy, Charles Belt. He's the head coach at NAIA down at William Woods University in Missouri, if I'm correct.
That's right.
He has Michigan ties. I know his Recruit The Mitten has Michigan ties. He's coaching the GLIAC. He's coached D3. He's coached D2. Has great insight when it comes to recruiting. And I want to introduce him to our podcast. Welcome to our pod, Charles.
Man, Coach Scab, man, it's good. It's good to see you, man. Good to talk to you. You know, we go back, man. We had some good battles in the GLIAC, and man, in this climate, just to get a chance to share with your listeners and the people you connect with, young folks, parents, all that, man. I'm happy to be on.
That's awesome. So explain to our listeners your basketball background and what you're doing now.
I mean, just kind of, making the long story short, I actually played Division III basketball out of high school in Wisconsin at Ripon. And when I graduated, my degree's in mathematics and business. I wasn't planning on coaching. I was not planning on coaching. I was working corporate America. I got done. I was working in the financial aid department, which ironically now really helps me because I understand FAFSA, I understand EFC, I understand the student aid report when I'm doing my recruiting. It's a very big tool.
That's a big piece.
It's huge. But out of college, I mean, I was just working that as a career. Right. And most people in financial aid, if you ever look at colleges, them folks in the financial aid department, they grow old in the financial aid. It's one of them jobs, once you get it, you never leave it. And I took a leap of faith, man. I got a call from the assistant that I played for. He was a head coach down at Beloit, which is a D3 in Wisconsin. Okay. I was just minor helping with some AAU stuff. He was recruiting a couple of those guys, and we just linked up. He was like, "Man, you were a heck of a player. You always kind of had this influence." He was like, "Have you ever thought about coaching?" And I took the leap, man. This is the grind I tell all the young coaches, right? I mean, my first coaching job, I made $500 a year.
Facts.
That's it.
My first job was $500.
That was it. And he was like, "Man, you want me to give that to you monthly or in a stipend?" I'm like, "What? Like, if you don't just hand me $500, bro, like, no." So it was tough, right? To come from a career, right? I mean, full bennies, everything, to then boom. And I just got blessed a year into. I grinded it out for about a year and a half. Like, when I say grinded it, I mean, hustling. Anyway, eating White Castle, any way to make it work. Mm-hmm. And then I was able to land a financial aid job at a junior college about 10 minutes away. Okay. So that's where my degree saved me. It got me that gig. So I had my full time, but then the coaching grind, man, I'm at work 8 to 4. I got to get to practice by 4:30. I'm leaving practice at 5:36 because I'm going down to Chicago because I always recruit the city. I'm booking it back. I'm booking it back. I mean, it was crazy. So, we were able to get that thing turned around in 2 years. Okay. Had very successful seasons. And Bill Saul, who a lot of your Michigan folk probably know, was down at Ferris. Of course. He took the job at Northern Michigan. Yep, Calvin. He's at Calvin. He took the Northern Michigan job and gave me a call. His brother-in-law was actually going to church in Appleton, which was near Beloit, and gave me a call. And I ended up going up there, sitting down, interviewing with him. And I took myself to the UP where, I mean, trust me, you from the Chi, UP a little different.
It's a little bit different in Chicago. You got that right.
It's a little different.
That's for sure.
It's a little different. So, that's right. So we went on up there, and, it took us a few years to get it going. I think a lot of people that followed Northern during that time period, it took us about 3.5, 4 years, but we were able to recruit good players, get the right type of pipelines, in places where we need it. And those last 2 years, actually, we're making the GLIAC Final Four. We're able to get to the banquet and produce a couple really good players. I mean, we've had some really good players, some really good graduates, and it sparked the opportunity for me to get the head coaching job down here at William Woods. And that's a program that when I took over, I mean, I essentially rebuilt from the ground. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, Cam, I got rid of 11 players, when I first got here, and it had nothing to do with basketball talent. I mean, I didn't even look at that. I got that folder and man, just was a lot of red flags, to be honest with you. Yep. And it was funny because as a coach, when you shaking hands, having them one-on-ones, after you've X'd off them dudes, you look and you go, whoa, I just got rid of 8 of my top 9 scorers. I got rid of all-American, newcomer of the year, first team. I'm like, whoa,
I got some work to do.
I got 5 players on the roster, and they not like on paper, they're not those guys.
Those guys, right.
And so, I mean, and I didn't have a staff yet. You know, Terry Nash, who played in the GLIAC, coached with us, he came with me, but he didn't get down here until August. Okay. And then I built the rest of my staff later on in that summer. So I brought in 11 new guys, 7 freshmen, because I go very heavy with high school.
Okay.
And just built it from scratch, man. And built it from scratch. So that's kind of the Cliff Note quick version of the journey to get here in the seat at William Woods. And it's been amazing, man. It's been amazing.
Awesome. So tell me this. So you've had experience of coaching in Michigan, coaching at the GLIAC D2 level. I want you to explain to our listeners, what does it feel like going from being an assistant to now, even though it's NAIA, you still you the guy, like you the head guy. So how does it feel to be the head coach as opposed to being the assistant?
I think the first thing that you realize when you move over the seat, right, is that no matter how much as an assistant, and we know this, and this is I'd say it's a young coach. This is the gritty, gutty part of being an assistant. Yep. No matter how much you working behind the scenes, or you're a lead on a recruit, or you're in the gym with a guy, or whatever it may be, right? No matter what that is, at the end of the day, if that kid signs or anything, the head coach got that guy, right? Sure. Like that's just the nature of the business, right? The head coach got that guy. And when you're an assistant, sometimes that gets frustrating. You know, you're like, man, and it's not necessarily an ego thing. It's more if your head coach doesn't give you that extra appreciation, like, hey, in the office, look, man, you did a great job. I'm with you. I mean, if you don't get that, there's kind of a like, man, nobody knows I'm back here working.
Right.
But then when you now move over a seat, what's funny is you realize that, what you don't deal with as an assistant is anything else that comes up. So you can get that kid. If he gets a noise violation, right, they don't call the assistant.
Listen, right. They call the head coach.
They call him the head coach. Even if your guys didn't do nothing, they might be at Walmart and some other kids steal, but they around. They not calling the assistant. No. Anything that goes on within your program now, that's the first part that I noticed. Well, it's like your phone is ringing, like your phone gets everything. Now, I've been blessed here, and part of why I rebuilt it the way I did, I sleep great at night, right? Like my kids did great. We didn't even have a noise violation last year. I mean, no positive.
Well, I mean, when you get rid of 11 guys, you can bring in the guys you want to bring in.
So I was able to, team GPA, for first semester 3.4, 3.6, last semester, like those, I get to sleep easy. Yeah. But that was the first thing I noticed is even if it's not issues with your players, every single thing comes to your desk. Your AD is always in line with you. The dean of students is always in line with you. You're having lunch with the president. And those, because we don't have football. We don't have football here.
Okay. So that's this sport then. Yeah.
That's right. So it's like,
I get it. I get it.
So you sitting there and you're having those discussions, right? And you just don't realize that as an assistant, because that's all 95% of what I do in a day I don't get to touch basketball till about 4 or 5 p.m. Right now, I'm up all night because I'm still thinking it, but it's not. That's what I think you miss as an assistant. You really get to do basketball, like that's really it. You grind in the basketball side. So that's my biggest point. I think for people to realize that I think sometimes in our profession, people only see the games. They only see the practices. Right. So if you talk to someone that doesn't have a knowledge or haven't been in the inner workings of coaching, they think a coach is just like, man, you have a really fun job, and we do. Don't get me wrong. Our job is amazing. But there are pressures, even at a place where you're not like high major D1, there are pressures as a head coach that other professions you just don't deal with, because your livelihood, the way you pay your rent, the way you feed your family is predicated on the actions of 18 to 23-year-olds. And they are kids thinking they're men.
They are.
And you control it, but you don't control it.
Right.
And that's a really hard thing to realize, right? And as an assistant, your livelihood is predicated often on just your work. Like, are you helping build the program?
Yep.
Your livelihood ain't dictated on what the kids do. That go to the head coach seat.
That's true.
So those are the things I think. Those are the things I think people miss, right? Now the basketball, of course, when you're a head coach, obviously you have to become extremely good at hiring and putting people around you that can tackle the things that you miss, because we're all extremely myopic.
Of course.
Right. So for me, I mean, I'm a grinder, defensively, I'm watching how the other team's adjusting to what we're doing on offense. I'm missing if this dude got his box out in. I'm missing if this is going in. I need assistants that can concentrate on that.
See that.
That can see that for me. Hey, so-and-so missed that one, coach. All right, hey, you did. All right, let's get him. You know, I need that, and I have to be willing to trust them and let that happen. And I think as an assistant, you do all the work, right? Like you're given a task and you just do it.
You just do it.
As a head coach, you have to be very good at delegating. You have to be very versatile. You have to be willing to accept even criticism at times and not let it hurt your feelings.
Okay.
And I think that as an assistant, you know, those things they're very different.
They're not even in your spectrum. You're not even thinking about that.
Right. And then now on top of all that, as an assistant, you never talk to the AD. No. You know what I mean? It's rare. Like you say what's up, you see him, you see her.
Right. Yeah.
But like as a head coach, that's still a boss, right? Like you sitting in there and you never know. Like you always hope when that call come, hey coach, can you come by? You hope it's just something, hey, this is good, this is happening, we're making this adjustment. But sometimes you never know. They could be adjusting budgets, they could be adjusting like
especially during the pandemic.
As an assistant, that's never on your mind. Ever. And you got to make decisions as a head coach, not just for yourself, but for your staff. You're in charge of the lives of 17, 18-year-old men. You actually are also in charge of the lives of the people that they affect on that campus. You bring somebody that does something negative on that campus, you've affected another life.
Right.
And you're the person that brought that person in.
Right.
It's a lot of responsibility. And I just always like to remind everyone, right? Like if you want to be a head coach, don't think it's just, man, now I got a raise and now I get to call the plays.
It's all sweet.
I get to get a scholarship offer. It's, oh my God, that plate get heavy. That plate get heavy and that burden, because there's other lives depending on you now. And that you could take that lightly, but if you do, you're probably gonna be out the seat pretty soon. Right. So that's kind of my thought on that.
Okay, so let's talk about recruiting.
Yeah.
Because this whole platform that we built is built off of recruiting.
Yeah.
And when we talk about recruiting, there's different levels to recruiting. There's recruiting Division I. There's recruiting low major. There's recruiting D2. There's recruiting NAIA, which is totally different from D3. A lot of people, they want to lump D3 and NAIA together. There's a difference in that too. So I kind of want you to talk about recruiting and what's your perception of how you recruit at your university and how you recruit as a NAIA school as opposed to how you recruited when you were coaching D2.
I think what I think is happening, first off, in a very good way, and I think it's good for all the kids and for all the college basketball, is I remember even when I was as an assistant at D3 at Beloit, right? And that was 10 years ago now. The idea, it's crazy, isn't it? The idea of NAIA was almost a very negative stigma. So it was a very negative stigma, especially amongst high school kids.
Okay.
And high school coaches and stuff like that. And I remember that because as a D3, we would even try to use that against it. We'd be NAIA, I mean, that ain't NCAA, we would do that. I know that from experience. I use that. I think what's happening first and foremost is our governing body is doing a very good job of getting our product out there. There are some very strong coaches and there's some very strong NAIA programs that are setting that have over the course of time now are setting that table where people are taking notice to, that's just the governing body title, right? The institutions are still private institutions. We're a private liberal arts school. We have, we're a small school. Our education programs are great. We prepare teachers really well. We have a DACA program within our business that within our school of business. It's really like these NAIA schools aren't just, run-of-the-mill schools. Like these are institutions of higher education. And I think that people are starting to grasp that a little bit more.
Okay.
Why is that a good thing? Is that for recruits, and this, Cam, as a recruit, the thing is all about creating options for yourself. Okay. So if you come in with the mindset of, oh, that's NAIA, you already cut the door on 220 programs. That let's remember, not because we're not Division III, that can actually give you athletic scholarships.
Yep.
You can get money. So you just cut out 220 some schools of money.
Yep.
If you take that approach, right? Same thing goes when I was at D3. We had kids that were like, oh, that's D3. You just knocked out 300 something schools.
Yep.
If you're talking, And then you have people, I mean, it's the funny thing. You have people that are like, oh, D2. Ugh. So I think, that's the first thing. The first thing for recruits, and I love your platform because it's a recruiting basis, is don't close no doors.
Keep them all
right.
open.
You'll be surprised, right? Don't close no doors. And if you hear a person out and get to the point where they talk that cash, because that's what we're talking about in recruiting, whether it's D3 academic, NAIA putting full, I mean, we can give fulls. Like we can give a 1.0. Like people don't know that there are NAIA schools that can cover tuition, room, and board. Man, just like I did in Northern.
Private liberal school?
Just like I did in Northern. Just like I did in Northern, right? Like, and because we're private, in-state, out-of-state tuition don't matter, right? So boom, you coming out of state, 1.0 is a 1.0. Your family, your burden, they ain't got loans, they got like that, like kids, family, you gotta think that. You gotta think that through. And so for me, what I've noticed here is honestly, Cam, and I'm just, you know me, I'm a straightforward, 100 kind of guy.
Of course, gotta be.
I've not changed how I recruited at Northern 1 ounce here. Because my thing is this: to be successful at this level, you have to have the same caliber players. That's the truth. If you come in going, oh, I'm NAIA, then you're not going to be any good because you're going and the reality is the kids and the families that want to entrust their sons in you, because a son is different than a daughter.
For sure.
Right? Daughters in college still kind of have that parent connection. With boys, I mean, boys are boys, like we even growing up, like everybody's kind of like that. When you get to a certain age, it's like, look, you gotta learn how to be a man. Like that's kind of like the cliche, right? Learn how to be a man. Well, these people are they're trusting you to figure that out for them and for the young man and for the family. And I've always taken the approach of, if their family is willing to believe in me, believe in what we're doing, and their talent level and what they have fits what I'm looking for from a program standpoint, the level I'm at shouldn't matter in my mind. Now, if they come, now that's on them now. If they look and say, well, coach, we think we can, we're a D1 kid or we're a D1 family, whatever, that's your choice. That you passing up money, you passing up the opportunity, that's on you. I can only control me from that standpoint. So I don't adjust how I recruit. Now, I'm not naive, right? If I got a cat, he's 6'8", 240, he out there bodying people at 50, I go, man, that's a D1 kid. I'm not going to invest the time and all that, right? We have to be smart in our evaluation.
Right.
But when I look at Northern, and again, we had a young man that played at Northern. He came with me, Ian Hodges. He's from Flint. He's a Michigan kid. Came with me when I got the job here. He was our leading three-point percentage shooter down here last year, but he wasn't our leading scorer. So it wasn't like he came from Northern, D2, and came down here and was a 20-point guy. We had another transfer last year from Parkside. Really good kid, De'Aaron Owens, good kid, shot about 40% at Parkside, etc. I mean, amazing young man, right? Came down here. Well, again, wasn't like he was our leading scorer. So I think that I say this to all kids and recruits and families and whatever. The best thing you can do is watch games. Go watch. Go to practice. Like if you have local, I mean, Michigan's crazy because y'all got tons of conferences. Y'all got D2, y'all got D3, y'all got everything. Go to practice. Go to practice. Watch practice, right? And if you sitting in there at practice and you going, man, I'm a kid. I could get that guy. I could work that dude out. I could do this and that, right? If that's how you really feel, you being honest, then that might help you assess your level. But if you sit there and you look and you're like, man, can I guard this dude? Can I guard this guy? I always find it amazing when we bring these kids in for like evals and they get to play with our team, right?
Yeah.
My 12th guy killing this high school kid that told me he D1 a bus.
Right.
What that say? Okay. You ain't got no buckets. You ain't got no buckets. Now I bring, come on now. Let's get real.
That's a good measuring stick too. Oh, you want to play here? You can't score against my worst guy.
Coaches are cool with that because those are still unofficial visits. Though, we can even take you out to eat. At our level, we can take you out. We can do all that. We do officials. We do that. I tell kids all the time, do that. Get on campus.
Yep.
Come to a run. Come play.
Yeah, come hoop. What's up? Bring it. Oh, you D1? Show me. Be the best player in the gym. Come on.
If you walk in here and you're the best player in our gym, I should stop recruiting you. I should be like, man, that dude is by far out of my league.
Let me call my guy Illinois since you that good. Let me call my guy.
League because coaches talk. For you. Yeah. Coaches talk. We all are in the network. I got GLIAC ties. If I got a cat that's legit, I'm like, man, that's an all GLIAC type of guy. I'm on the phone. It's easy. Hey, so-and-so, you know about this kid at this spot in whatever school. No, coaches talk
all the
time.
So
the best way you can get on the radar as a kid is get in front of coaches.
Yep.
And especially in the pandemic, right? You didn't have AAU. I'm telling these 2021s, 2022s, and you follow me on Twitter. You really didn't have a true AAU season. Didn't. And the rules are come on now.
Completely different.
The rules are getting you. They're getting you. So what can you do?
Yep.
Take the $100, $200, drive down, fill that gas tank up, do a little tour, drive to 5 schools, watch practice. If the school will allow it in the pandemic, allow you to get out there and work out with the team. Some schools will allow that. You have to fill out some paperwork, but our school does. You can do that.
Okay.
Get out there. Get out there, do that, because even if that coach ain't recruiting you right then, you in his mind, you got to get on the radar. And the truth is, just sending emails don't get you on the radar, because I get 100,000 emails.
Okay, keep dropping them gems, coach.
My assistants get 100. That's their job as an assistant. They check. They got to read everyone. You know that we was assistants. Oh, man. You reading everyone. You watching every video. Okay, boom. Let me move this kid.
Yep.
I'm like, look. Here's the deal. The first thing that's gonna jump out is your GPA. So you send a highlight tape with a GPA that's above a 3.0, right now you already move into a different category, because we notice it's a pandemic. That money getting tight.
It's very tight.
So if I can get that, if you got that good academic and I can throw a little bit on top, just a little bit, I can afford that. Affordability is value. And affordability comes from your GPA.
Okay.
Period. Your GPA is the first thing that's going to make you affordable to a school.
Okay.
So that's right there. But if you just send blanket emails, or and I get all the time, and I try to show love to everybody on Twitter, right? Follow me back, coach. This, and the other. We just can't do that. Like I don't have the capacity. I don't have the capacity. Yep. My assistants can do that's their job. But that's the reality is, you want to really get on the radar. You want to know what I can do is, because I'm going to be at practice anyway, or I'm going to be working out, whatever. You reach out to our assistants and you go, hey, I've done an inquiry. I've applied to the school, because that application tell me you not just messing around.
Right.
And it don't mean you got to come here. I tell kids all that. Find schools where there's no application fee. We don't have an application fee. It literally is just an investment of your time. You shoot an application in, admissions now gonna jump on you. They want to work with it. Perfect. My assistant, look, coach, we got this young man. He's applied. He's a 2022, 2021, whatever. He's applied. He's been reaching out. He sent us some stuff. He wants to come visit. Okay, cool. What are we talking? Date, etc. Yeah, they're gonna hop in the car. They're gonna come. Again, and families got to think, right? That $70 hotel is an investment in the opportunity to possibly get a scholarship. So what's the investment? People spend money on a lot of other stuff.
Oh, for sure.
So if you can't spend $70 for a one-night hotel and some gas because you're trying to get there on that visit, get in front of them people. Come on.
This is not that important to you. So while we're still talking about recruiting and just being important, having an importance in recruiting. So tell me about this, coach. So the class of 21, they got a decision to make, right? What are some things that you could tell the class of 2021? Just give them 3 nuggets, give them three tips on how to approach their senior season, how to approach being recruited at the college level, whether they have offers or they don't, because seniors coming back is a big deal.
Man, huge.
Especially at the small college level. D2, D3, NAIA, you got seniors, they're coming back. The majority of them, you might have 1 or 2, your top guy like, oh, I'm trying to go overseas. The rest of them aren't coming back. So you might have had 5 scholarships and you thought you had 5 available, but them 4 seniors is like, oh no, coach, I'm coming back. And so now you might have had kids that you offered that you might have to call like, I'm sorry to tell you, but we can't offer you because my senior said he's coming back. Give me 3 tips for the class of 2021 about their recruiting this year and going forward.
I think, and I'll make it quick so we can get to, because I know we could talk for forever. I mean, the first thing for them is to create what I call a recruiting radius. Okay, so what do I mean by that is if you are in that boat right now, pull it 60 miles, right? Because we're talking about if you can visit, right, saving a little money. Maybe you don't need a hotel if the school's within 60 miles, right? Pull 60 miles.
Pull 100 miles, but
pull 100, 90, whatever, right? You create yours.
You create your radius. Gotcha.
Create your radius, right? And look at you got to do your research. Find every school that's within your radius. Okay? Every school is within your radius. and don't try to level search it. Just list them. These are the ones there. Now take the time to see which of those schools, because you are allowed to control you. Yep. Which schools fit you, whether that's if you have a certain level you're looking for, whether that's a particular degree. Let's say you want to get into engineering. Maybe there's a particular, engineering schools, whatever. You find your niche, right, out of that list. So now you've cut that list down, okay? Mm-hmm. After you've gotten to that point, so that's number one. Create that radius, get that list, find those 10, 15 schools. And the funny part is some of them might not even be recruiting you at all. At all. Yep. Cool, that's all good. Mm-hmm. Number two now is because, again, everybody always tries to reach the head coach first, okay? That's tough sometimes. That's tough. I'm just being honest. That's tough. That's tough, right? So now you got that radius. Boom. Check those schools so you can cut your list down to 10. Find out, I just said it with the other, find out which of them schools don't have an application fee. Because the no application fee means that's zero, it's costing you nothing. Nothing. Now you fill out that application, right? Most college applications have on there, what are you inquiring about? It says, sports, athletics, whatever. Make sure you check that box basketball, because here's who's going to call the head coach, the admissions counselor. Yep.
Coach, I just got this application. As soon as they get it, it's like an email. Coach, I got this application for such and such from Chicago. Oh, yeah, send it to my assistant. Yep.
Perfect, right? Now you've doubled up. You've got the assistant, you got the coaches, and you got admissions working. Because admissions schools, small schools, colleges still need quota. It's enrollment driven. So that admissions counselor needs you.
Data.
They need you. So they hitting coach up. Hey, this person inquiry. Boom. Guess what? You're in the system. And you've done all that with nothing but an investment of time.
Yep.
You haven't spent a dime. Now your third part of that, once you're in the system, coaches heard from you from admissions. The assistants are now you're in the inquiry. You're on the radar. Right. Now you do that reach out, whether that's the email to coach, CC the assistants, make sure everybody's on there. Hey, coach, I would love to come visit your campus. Okay. I would love to come visit your campus. Can you let me know when there's a practice schedule? Do you allow open practices? Can I come in for a workout? Are there days the guys are playing open gym? Whatever it may be. Now I got to see you.
Yep.
And in that, attach your highlight tape. Right. That's when you attach the highlight tape. I think
on the third end.
Yeah. Don't just throw in there the highlight tape. I mean, there's too many of them. You're an inquiry. You've applied. You've asked to come visit. I have a highlight tape. Right away in my mind, I go, this dude is serious.
Yeah. He's interested.
Now, there's no guarantee. And you know this, Cam. There's no guarantee that you fit me. I can't promise you that. But what'd you do? You got the train going. And we just said coaches talk. So now that school down the block from me 20 minutes ago, might be my rival, might not be. I go, hey, this kid, he's only an hour from the school. He don't really fit us, but he might fit you, coach. Did he apply there? No, he didn't. Okay, here's his name. Pass it to your assistant. Now you let the network work for you.
Yep.
Those are my three things. That's the 3 steps I would take right now. If I was a father and I had a kid in the 2021, or if I'm a kid, I'm looking at going, create that net, find your radius. Apply to the schools that have no application fee, and then follow that third one with your email to all the staff, everybody, and include your highlight, your resume, your stats, whatever on that. And in that email, keyword, I'm willing to visit. We are willing to drive. We are willing. Boom. You got your feet on campus.
Those are 3 great tips, Coach. So answer me this now. I've had an opportunity to check out your roster and things of that sort. And I know when you replace 11 guys, it's hard to get 11 guys from Missouri, right?
Yep.
Or from wherever your school is located.
Yep.
The way that I would like to do it in Michigan, because it's Recruit the Mitten, we're really pushing for our schools to recruit our in-state players, because we have players good enough to play at any level.
Without a doubt.
Any level in our state. So we're pushing that.
Yep.
Where your school is located, is your roster comprised of guys that are from that area, or are they comprised of guys from the Midwest? Like, how is your roster compiled, and how do you handle recruiting? Are you an in-state guy? Are you a guy that got to get a first? Are you like high school guys? Like, how do you go about recruiting in that sense?
I think for us, I mean, we're full mix. I mean, we are full mix. Now, I always have my ear to the beat of Chicago, right? That's home base, born and raised. I'm an inner city guy. I mean, that's always, I can always make a call down to Chi. And I mean, you saw that at Northern. I mean, we had 8, 9 guys out of Chicago going up to Marquette, Michigan, right? So for me, I know Chicago's going to always be kind of home base, right? I'm going to always be able to check Chicago. I've always taken the approach of this is most recently here. It's kind of funny. We've got to commit. I mean, a heck of a player out of Oklahoma. We got another young man. Okay. We're in his final. We're in his top 3 out of Oklahoma. I'd never stepped foot in Oklahoma before in my life.
In Oklahoma, right?
Talent is talent, no matter where you are. Here's where in-state, out-of-state affects and Michigan. I mean, as we talked, there's multiple conferences, tons of teams in college.
Every level.
The thing with in-state, out-of-state that's big is, number one, typically, if you're at a public school, in-state is more affordable. Means that the school has to give less scholarship money, which makes you more attractive.
Okay.
Right? That's why when I say that radius, I'm basically talking about find your in-state schools. That's pretty much what I'm telling you to do.
Basically,
It makes you a little more attractive because, again, that affordability comes in. Okay. The other part is typically if you're an in-state guy, in-state kid, you've been in not necessarily the system, but you've been in camps. You've been to this. They know you. They know your parents. They know those relationships go a long way. They go a long way later on when you become that senior and they go, we got a kid like we got your son, man, he's been in camp for 10 years, man. We got, he's been in camp, man. We know his dad, we got a great relationship. Right. He the type of guy we want in this program. Right. And that's where I think is kind of interesting, like you said, with Michigan, is that you see a lot of these kids depart. What I do find when I look at rosters, and this is a non-bias because, you look at my roster, I'm not a JUCO guy. I'm not a transfer heavy guy. I love high school. I love high school, and not every coach is like that. I wear that cross proudly. I'm the high school guy. I am the high school guy. I'm just not nothing against it. I love getting them without habits, without everything, and I just find that a person that's with you for 4 years, it's a different vibe than a guy that's only with you for 1. That's only with you for 2. Yep. You know what I mean? It's just a different vibe. It's easier to play for the name on the front. When you've been there 4 years and out of high school, they're the only program that coach is the only one that gave me a shot. I don't recruit. It's funny, and you see this all the time, right? Where coaches ask how many offers this person got, who offering. At Northern and here at Woods, most of my guys, I'm saying, look at my board quick, probably 90% of my guys, I'm their only scholarship offer.
That's crazy.
I love offering the high school kid that don't got no other offer. Why? Because he coming in and as much as I'm invested in him, he got the chip and look, man, coach gave me my chance. I can't let him down. I can't let him down in the classroom. I can't let him down off the court. I can't let him down on the court. Why? Because everybody else passed on me. That dude loved me when no one else did.
Nobody else did.
So my thing with that is because of that approach, I look everywhere. Everywhere. Now, where in-state does matter, and this is just the truth, because, I'm going to give it to you cold and facts, right? Straight. If you're a guy that's not a scholarship kid, so you're going to be using academic money, you're going to be a preferred walk-on or a walk-on, right? Chances are those guys are going to be gentlemen that are in-state local guys. Yep. Because the truth is this. If I'm going to take a guy, right, and I'm not actually putting athletic scholarship money out there, why bring a young man from 10, 12 hours? Right? That's tough. Now, that does happen, and they can have success. But now you're dealing with possible homesickness. There's a lot of other things. You have a guy that's a little more local. Again, it comes back to the point. The family. They know you. They trust you. Even though they're not getting a scholarship, the trust is still there. They understand that, okay, this, that. And they also usually get a little bit better academic package because the school wants them there. There's more flexibility. Maybe there's a chance to stay at home. Those things come into play. So when you look at a lot of college rosters, I can guarantee you this, whether they take transfers of high school, a lot of those in-state guys that are high school guys, if they're not the scholarship guys, right? That's that pool of guys that are close. They've been in camp. They know them. There's a relationship.
Their high school coach, where they went to school, that you saw them play. Yep. You
start seeing out-of-state guys on rosters, right? Especially high school. Those guys are on scholarship. Yep. Because that family, for their family to be comfortable with them coming, financially,
take care of them.
Someone lifted the burden.
Yep.
Someone lifted the burden. Yep. And then, your transfer rosters are interesting because a lot of times transfers happen one of two ways. A lot of transfers want to get close back to home. They went somewhere, it didn't work, whether they, went too high. A lot of things happen. No, you take your own journey.
Yep.
It didn't work. Now, do you want to relocate 1,000 miles from home, or your parents are like, look, man, let's find you a spot a little closer to home. Yep. So a lot of times transfers want to come back to home. So you start seeing that in-state transfer list really good. And I know a lot of coaches really watch that. They watch the kid from in-state that left
Right.
And they follow them. What they do this year?
We call them bounce backs.
The bounce
back.
Yeah. Did they play a lot? Nah. Okay.
No, okay. Right. They bounce it back. They're gonna come right back to you.
That's right.
They're coming back.
That's right. So that I think that happens, and that has a huge effect. But I just think for high school kids, whether you're Michigan or any state, you have to, even if your state or there's a stigma, your state doesn't recruit the in-state, you got to push that envelope.
You do.
How do you push that envelope? You get your feet on the ground. Yep. You get there. You see them. I mean, coaches are still humans. We're still people. It's hard to tell that kid no that be in your gym every day.
That's right.
That be at your practices, right? That's like you just sit up there. He don't even got to go to court. He come there. Him and his dad, mom, they at y'all practices. It's really hard. I mean, we still human. We people. Mm-hmm. It's hard. Then 9 months from there, he's like, Coach, I really want to be a part of your program. You're like, nah. That's hard. Like, I mean, that's tough.
That's true.
You got to push that envelope.
The fact that the one thing that you said that stood out to me, and I want you to expound on this just a little bit. The majority of the kids that you recruited didn't have an offer from anybody.
Nope.
Not nobody. Not a JUCO. Not a nothing. You were the only offer.
Let's
say that. Because I see players all the time. I seen the kid. I'm not kidding. 2 weeks ago, he would kill the HBCU. He would be he's dynamic player, Division I player. This guy got no offers, and I'm like, how is this possible? I'm not the only person that can see this player can play. So I want you to talk about that a little bit. How the fact that you can get kids to commit to your school and you were the only offer.
I mean, it's kind of funny, right? I don't know. I guess I don't. It's hard to explain how it happens, right? And I think that first off, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, right? And every head coach they got their thing, they got their approach, right?
Their niche.
And there's never a negative to that. I mean, what you do is you have to. What the way it usually starts with me first and foremost is, again, I think it's more of how I was brought up. I mean, single parent home in the city, right? Okay. The opportunity is life changing. And so I've had the benefit. I mean, what's funny is, you had the first offer, but I've also had 9 first-generation college graduates, right? So
wait, hold up. We not just go just breeze by that. Hold on, you gonna have to run that back, Coach. Say that again
Once December hits, because I've got 2 guys that have to finish their degree. If you're counting, I'm counting Northern, I'm counting Beloit, Northern, and Woods. Right, I'm counting my 3 stops. Once he's done, that would be 9. I'd have 9 first-generation college graduates. I mean, my assistant Terry Nash is a first-generation college graduate.
And he's on your staff.
And he's on staff. He stayed with me. I mean, me and him have been together for 8 years. It's kind of funny.
That's dope.
We've been together for 8 years. And so, I think that who I am contributes to that, because I'm not afraid to pull the trigger on a cat with no offers.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable. And I'm comfortable in my evaluation. I'm comfortable in how I think they fit me. Now, the thing is, and you know this, I mean, how I play basketball is also different than where basketball is trending.
For sure.
So some kids don't have those offers because they don't fit what the trend is.
What it's trying to do. Yeah.
So I can look at a cat, he's got no offers. I can fire it. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, he fits me, but he might not fit
anybody else.
It may have nothing to do with talent. He might not fit, So look, my center last year as a true freshman set the single season record for block shots at this school. In 7 games the next year, so it'll probably maybe less, he will be the all-time leading shot blocker in our school's history after 34 games. Okay, wow. He was second in the country last year as a true freshman in block shots in the country, all in NAIA.
Everybody.
Defensive player of the year. Okay, all of that. You want to know how many offers that kid had?
0. That's crazy.
You want to know how many threes he took at 6'10" as a center?
0.
He don't fit the ball. He don't fit the build of what people are trying to do. But
so while we're here, because I wanted to get here, while we're here, I want you to explain to our listeners, because we've gotten into debates before. You've got a different movement than everybody else. I kind of like the small ball movement because I'm a guard.
We talk about you,
yeah. So what you're trying to do, your school, you've bigged your school as Big Man U. So I want you to talk about Big Man U, and you got a freshman on your team, right? The best big in the country. Talk about defensively. So talk about Big Man U and how that affects how you recruit and your roster?
I think that first off, right, when people hear big man U, they think that we're only talking about centers, right? Okay. I think it's two-part for us when we look at it. Number one, for people that can't see me, I'm 5'6". Okay, I'm the definition of a little guard, right? Now it's kind of funny. I say this a million times. I would never recruit me, and I love me some me. I love me some me. I could shoot. I could do a lot. Never recruited me. No. I wouldn't have been my own first offer. I can promise you that. Some other coach would take a chance on me, right?
How can I get an offer for William Woods? Nah, you're 5'6", son.
Nah. I never would have recruited me. But like my thing is this: the first premise where it came from is if you look at our stat, like our season stats, my leading scorer and second leading scorer were our 4 and 5 man.
Okay.
Now you go through the country, guards are leading scorers.
For sure.
Okay. For sure. We were one of the top teams in the country if you're going through your synergy analytics and stuff on high-low basketball.
Okay.
Post usage. Okay. And then those ratings of my post players being excellent, very good, etc. Okay. My 4-man, for example, in the last 15 games of the season, 2020, because again, I took us a semester to all adjust to each other too, course. Right? He was averaging in the last 15 games, 17 points per game, 9.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. That's my 4-man. My center in those last games was averaging 11 points a game, 10.5 rebounds, 3 blocks a game, shooting 80% from the free throw line and 70% from the field. That's what. So to do that, you got to touch the ball.
Yeah, you got to get the ball.
And not only just touch it, it's got to be a committed effort. So that's number one. That's where the first concept of big man you came from, because recruiting is still niche. You're still trying to find those guys. It's like, look, at a lot of schools, you're gonna go be a big guy and you're gonna be asked to ball screen. That's it. Yep. You're gonna be asked to ball screen and roll, eat up space on defense. Here, you better defend like I want you to defend, but offensively, I'm gonna put the ball in your hands. So I'm gonna give you the opportunity to get assists. So when I'm recruiting, I'm looking at centers that actually are catching the ball in the post, making that read on the pass. Our offense, if you watch our offense, especially going into this year, we put the ball in the center a lot. And it's funny because I'm a big Bulls fan, right? Our center plays a lot like Joakim Noah. Okay. Remember that year when Joakim was in like the top 5 MVP, he was getting that ball right around that free throw line. He was making passes for people. Yep. He's able to get to every screen in action. Yep. He can hit the high-low. He can post when he needs to. He's getting a dive on a double. Our bigs play really well in tandem. So that's what created the idea of, big man U. Now, when that happens, of course, you start getting the size that fits it. And then because you play that way, we send our guards because it's not, our guards are to the basket a lot. So now you need big guards. Yep. My point guard is 6'5", 227. What? Okay. That's a point guard.
Wait. Your point guard is 6'5", 227. Phew, that's a big guard. That's bigger than me.
But then our 2, 6'4", we got our 4-man 6'6". We got another 4-man at 6'11". The kid from Dallas 6'11". He's a footer, but he want to be 6'11" because he don't want to post up yet. But he gonna learn that. We gonna get that. We gonna get that going. But we have our average roster. If you looked up, our average roster is 6'4.5". You took all our heights and you divided by the total number of the roster. We're big.
That's a big team.
We're big, and it changes how we defend. Okay, we're able to do way more. There's less gaps. We challenge you. Come meet the eraser at the rim. Yep. We're able to be in the passing lanes with our length. And it's good old. That's the city of me. It's good old black and blue. You hurt when you get done playing us. Your body hurts. Right. And it's body blows. It's boxing. It's boxing. And last year is funny, right? Because year one we were 1 game under 500, right? But we were 4-2 against top 25. Wow. And last year, because I'm not naive, you still have to make threes.
Of course.
What was the game changer for us? It's funny, right? In the games where we were able to consistently knock down, we really only needed 8 threes a game, which is minimal. If we could hit you look up and you look at the games where we made 7 or more threes, you didn't beat us. Right. Because what I've found, and this is where you and you talk about it, right? You're like, hey, you give your big man the ball 3 times. He scored all 3. He got 6. I hit 3 threes. I got 9. I'm +3. Coach, what are we talking about? Right. Right. Now, I would look and say my percentage of him going 3 for 3 is a little bit higher than your chance of going 3 for 3 because he is closer to the basket.
Right. Higher percentage shot.
But the other aspect that I think gets really missed, and again, I'm a math major. It's funny, right? Because all the people that talk small ball, they talk analytics, but do you have a math degree? I'm a math major, okay? Free throws matter. You pull up our roster, my leading free throw shooters are my bigs, and they also shoot 70, 80% from the line. My center shot 81%. My foreman shot 80%.
You're not finding that at our place.
So when I'm recruiting, I'm watching them at the free throw line because I know we putting the ball in your hand. And they can't guard you. They center 6'5". So he got a foul. Now, if not, big man, you don't work if you go to the line and shoot 48%.
No, it don't. Because we just foul you all the time.
So there's still strategy behind it, and there's still components. So it's not like, oh, I got this 6'11" kid for you, coach. You know, you're a big boy. You can throw it in the post, but he shoot 40% from the line. That don't fit me.
No.
I can't take him. Right? You know what I mean? Like, so that's where we still got our evaluations.
Right.
But man, I mean, we have built a thing here, and I'm excited. That's why I'm excited for this year, because last year it was year one. You know,
still trying to figure it out.
We were still way smaller than I wanted to be, and my little guards were great guys. I mean, shoot, like I said, one was a D2 transfer. You know, another one was all league the year before we got here. I mean, we had guys that were playing, but and I had to adjust a lot last year.
Okay.
Because that's being a head coach. You got to look at what you got. Yep. And just because it doesn't fit my blueprint doesn't mean I'm not going to give these kids the best opportunity and the best experience and the best chance to win, right? I got to change, not them. I got to change. And so now that's where that 2 years now, we're looking at 2 years of recruiting classes because it's now technically my second class. Now you look at my roster, it looks like a Charles Belt roster. You know, it's not heavy train. It's 4-year guys that now got experience as freshmen. That's the other thing I can talk to freshmen about. It's one thing to say I'm the high school coach to bring freshmen in. It's another thing to say, look at my roster. These freshmen are playing.
They're playing.
My freshmen play.
Right.
Because I need that experience, because high school don't work unless I get you that experience so that for 3 years you're not a freshman no more.
Right.
So I got to get you that. And I'm also my 11th guy played 7.8 minutes a game.
Oh, so you playing guys.
I'm letting people play.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so it's the big man U is a thing that attracts the eyes of, hey, this team is doing something different in basketball.
Right.
But now, do you still fit us? And number two, do you still fit all the things that I require when I pull that folder that you have to actually be able to do? And if you do, we want you.
Okay, so answer me this, and this is going to be my last question for the day. Yeah. So I thought it was really intriguing. So you get to this school, you're the head coach, and you have this roster, and you get this file, and you're looking at this file, and even though these kids can play, even though they're high-level players, there's just something that's not right. So I wanted to know what went through your mind when you're going through that file. What were the red flags? Like, what did you see that you didn't like? And in replacing those guys, when you went out recruiting, what did you look for to replace those guys? Because we're not talking about basketball, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about the intangibles.
Yeah.
What were the intangibles you were looking for in recruiting to replace these guys that had all this big folder and still be able to compete at a high level? Because you still got to have college level players. You can't just recruit a high academic kid that can't dribble or shoot just because he's a high academic kid. You still have to be able to play. So I want to know, what were some of the things that you were looking for in recruiting to replace these 11 guys to fit where you were looking for to fit the mode of your program?
I never like to, air out people's dirty laundry or stuff. I think the first thing for me though was grades, right? And not just from an eligibility standpoint, but I took the time, and a lot of those young men probably don't even know this because I was new to the job. I reached out to all the professors. I did my homework. I didn't have that conversation with these dudes without doing homework. I talked to people. I did a lot of research, right? And my biggest thing from the academic standpoint is your grade. A lot of people think your grades talk about how smart you are. No, not in college. In college, your grades tell me how much you actually care. Because getting good grades in college is kind of funny, right? The number one thing to passing classes is go. Like, show up. That's the number. That's the first. Show up. So if you have Fs, that tells me you don't go. Okay. Now, if you don't go, then that tells me another thing about you. That means that you're either only here for basketball, which means the name on the front doesn't matter to you.
It's only the name on the front.
For me, that don't matter to me then, right? Because I don't like cats. I'm a low ego dude. If you got an ego, you can't play for me. Like, that's one thing. You can look at I got no egos, none. I don't like that. I can't stand it, right? So that's number one. Because if you don't care about the school, if you care about school, you go into class.
Why you there? Yep.
Right. So that's the first. So GPA was right out the gate. I mean, right out the gate. And not necessarily the GPA, but how many Fs you got? Like if you racking up Fs, you were ineligible when you first got there, this and the other. Come on, man. You don't care. You have no care. Okay. And if you don't care about that, I can't mold you. I can't motivate you. And now I'm not saying these young men may not go and be successful at the next place. I've always said this. I'm the first chance coach, not the second chance coach. Now, there are a lot of great second chance coaches in this country. They do a hell of a job with cats that need that next chance. And I'll take the kid that ain't got no offers, coming out of the hood, ain't got nothing. Nobody want them. Nobody. I'll give you your first chance.
Yep. I'm going to
give you your first chance.
Here's what you got to do.
I'm going to lay it out there for you. So that was the first thing. I looked at grades right at because they tell you so much about people. And people don't realize that. It just tells you their commitment level. It doesn't tell you how smart they are. That's such a foolish concept in this country that GPAs tell how smart someone is. No, it tells you about commitment and work ethic. Because typically you just have to work hard to get good grades. We got a young man here, Mamadou, right? He speaks English, but it's broken English. Okay. He's got one of the best GPAs on his team. Now I got guys that probably on paper are smarter, if you want to say, right? Like if you're just doing he worked harder than them.
Right.
He worked harder than them. So I learned about the character based on your GPA. So that was number one.
Okay.
Number two for me was, of course, if we talking character, you can't, if you down at the bar getting into fights, I don't need you.
Yep.
I don't need you. I don't need that because I'm not getting a call at 2 a.m. because you did that. Because that's telling me one or two things. Number one, I mean, we talking straight here, right? You get into fights at the bar, you can't control your liquor, meaning you have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
You getting too after it. I don't need that in my program. That doesn't reflect well on me. It doesn't reflect well on the school. I don't need you. Okay. You getting popped for weed multiple times, right? Again, hey, there's plenty of states that allow weed to be legal. If that's your thing, right? If that's your thing, great. It's never been my thing. It ain't happening here. Okay. Now, when you graduate from me, you want to celebrate it. Boom, your time here with our program is done. Do your thing. You are an adult. You can do your thing. But when you are in this program, okay, if that is something you need, if you need that in your life, go ahead and need it somewhere else. I will grant handshake, full release. I'll even tell the coach you're a great player. I mean, hey, get this cat a scholarship. He need it. But I don't need you because we just talked about it. There are a lot of kids that you just said it, Camp. There are kids out there that need the opportunity that can hoop just as good as that dude that ain't going to give me the trouble. Why as a head coach am I going to invest in the trouble when I can get a cat that needs the chance that's going to do it right? Yeah. But that was the other thing. I mean, drugs was, you had any drugs pop up on there, boom, and then it's crazy that crime. I mean, look, if you're a criminal, okay, I can't roll with it. Nah, I ain't gonna put people's stuff on black.
I gotta feel comfortable when I put my phone down. When I come back, it's still gonna be there.
It's going. I mean, but I gotta feel comfortable that I'm not gonna get the knock. Hey, coach, so and so's down. We gotta figure out how to bail them out. No, because that reflects bad on me. Yep. And at a school here without football, right? Now that's the thing. I tell my program this all the time. Without football, okay. Let's just now talk about it because this is where the country that we at, right? The brothers, man, you stand out. You're 6'9", your brother, you stand out. Yep. You're 6'6", your brother. You're 6'4", your brother, you stand out. Yep. Okay, and we know this as black men. This is just the reality of the world. As black men, you have to walk a different line. That's just the truth. I don't care what anybody says. They can lie to you all they want. But as a black male, the microscope is on us very differently. We have to fit a certain appearance. We have to talk a certain way. We have to walk a certain way. And we can't have no red flags. I'm teaching life to these boys. Yep. Right? That red flag right now in college is just in college. That red flag when you get a job, take that plate off your table. Forever. Take it off your table. You ain't never feeding your family no more. Yep. So that's a life lesson. And so that was the biggest thing for me. And my thing is this. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable in the ability to develop. You can't tell me that the way I want to do it isn't the way that I'm going to do it when it comes to that. Okay. Because I will always win, lose, or draw. Whatever happens on that court, I will always be able to hang my hat on the fact that my team GPA is over 3.5. I'm graduating first-gen college kids. I'm changing lives. I'm teaching these boys lives, whether they're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, well, my roster, you pull up my, it's diverse, right? I'm teaching life lessons. I'm doing all of those things, right? If at the end of the day, I'm doing all of that, I can go to sleep at night.
And sleep good.
And sleep well. And the funny part is when you get a group of guys and young men that bond together and they believe in all of that, it happened on the court. It does. Like the correlation happens.
It transfers. Yep.
I just got to develop now. I just got to put you in the right spot. That's it. Because now you care about the man next to you more than you care about yourself. We gonna go out. You gonna crash that board. You gonna get that last rebound. He get blown off the dribble. You throwing it off the backboard for him because you don't want me to get on him for getting beat off the dribble.
For real.
You're like, look, bro, coach about to get on you.
And that's one thing. No matter what level I've coached at. So I've coached JUCO, I've coached high school, AAU, college. No matter what level I've coached at, I've always preached the importance of chemistry, the importance of that bond that you have with your brother is always going to transfer over the floor. I had a high school team. After a game, we lost, maybe by a point or two. And I was like, okay, tomorrow night, what are you guys going to do? They're like, what you mean, coach? What you talking about? I said, what are you guys doing tomorrow night? I had one guy that was going to the movies. I had one guy that was going to the mall. Another guy that wasn't doing nothing. I had 3 other guys that were just going to be in the house. I was like, you need to tell me y'all 10 guys don't ever get together, ever. They're like, no, coach, why would we do that? I said, y'all play like that. It will never transfer over to the floor. So if I can't trust you to go to a movie every now and then, or come watch the game, or come have a burger and come to your backyard, how am I going to trust you to get a stop when we're down to with a minute to go, right? It always transfers over. And some teams get it. Some teams understand that, you know what, coach, you're right. You know, the team that's together off the floor will be together on the floor. I get it. But they don't really understand it until they do it. And when they do it, it's a beautiful thing, man.
It's a beautiful thing. And it carries over. I mean, next thing you know, they look up, they in each other's weddings.
Yep.
They doing all, and they remember. I tell everybody, I tell these kids now, you know, because right now you still young. You will remember 10 years from now. You'll remember this. You'll be in the wedding. You'll talk about the stories. You'll be like, man, you remember that time coach did this on the bus? Like those things happen forever. And yes, again, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You can bring in 12, 13 transfers a year and be very successful, right? Yep. You can be very, you can be extremely successful. Everybody's got their way because, look, there are dysfunctional teams that are just so talented, it don't matter.
Yep.
Okay. But I say this, right? I trust and I believe in the talent that we have, but we don't, you look at my roster, you look at our staff, we don't have anybody that's going to blow your mind away. I don't got a D1 cat on my team. I don't got a D1 transfer. I don't got a D2 player of the year. I don't have that. I've got a group of young men that are blue collar, that are low ego, high character, and they just want to do it for each other.
That's beautiful, coach.
And if we can get that thing to work,
some great things to happen.
We got an opportunity, and that's all you could ask. That's all you could ask
for. Well, coach, I hate to cut you short, but it ain't short.
Hey,
whenever we get
love
together,
you, brother.
We can do this for hours. We can do this for hours, but this ain't for me and you. You know, I've developed a platform of recruiting, and you answered some really great questions for us. I want to thank you for coming on our podcast. We got an opportunity to learn about your program. What do you strive for as a coach? Having 9 first-generational graduates is a huge accomplishment. And I want to award you for that, coach. Congrats on that. I'm sure you're going to get 9 more and then 9 after that because it don't just stop. That's just something that's about you. I want to thank you for coming on our platform. This was a great conversation. I really hope people watch it because they can get some answers to questions. They can find out about recruiting. They can find out about you because it's not all about the D1 guys. And that's a part of this platform. My platform isn't for the Kobe Buffkins. It's not for the Monty Bates. Right? It's Will Smythes of the world that nobody know about until July, and he has a 4.3 and he ain't got no offers. It's for those kids, coaches like you that are doing what you're doing. So I want to thank you for coming on our podcast, Coach. If there's anything you want to leave out with, here's your floor.
No, I appreciate you. You know, we got a unique journey, man. It's a blessing. You know, I'm always it's something special about seeing black men continue to push the envelope, and that's not taken away from coaches that aren't Black or African American. But having the opportunity to do that, and I guess kind of my last thing is this: I'd say this to coaches, players, everything. This business will make you lose yourself if you're not if you're not cemented in who you are, if you're not confident in who you are. And I think the people that do this business really well at every level have that intrinsic ability to know I can sleep at night if I'm doing it my way and I'm doing it the way that I'm comfortable.
Right way.
And if I can, and that's kind of my thing. I see the sub tweets, you see it, right? My method and all that ain't for everybody.
Yep.
But it's who Charles Belt is. And I tell young coaches, if you're getting into this business, you know that, coach, you've been at every level. You've been an assistant. You've had some highs, some lows. We've all had that in our journeys, right? Mm-hmm. If you lose you in the process, then what were you doing it for? You know, at the end of the day, come hell or high water, you got to always stay cemented in who you are and your convictions and what you believe in. And for me, that's giving kids the opportunity to change their life and giving their family a chance to see their son walk across the stage and to know that they're safe, and to know that they're with somebody that love them. Now, I mean, it's tough love. Look, you see the videos. I'm crazy. I'm on them. I'm on them all the time.
Right.
I'm on them, but it's out of love. And you can only be on coaches. You can only be on kids like that if they know you love them.
That's true.
If they don't think you love them, they gone. You'll transfer right through the roof. There's a reason why all my guys come back.
Which is hard to do in a transfer era.
My guys come back. The two guys didn't. They graduated, and then I had one young man that's here on school that's not on the team, and I had one guy actually transfer. Like, that's crazy. They only have one transfer. Like, you just look, transfer market's 2,100 kids. Mm-hmm. And I'm crazy on the sidelines, right? Like, so why these kids coming back? Why they families send them there?
Because you love them.
It's love, man. It's love first. It's love first.
It's love.
So I appreciate you, family. Always.
I appreciate you for coming on the podcast, and we're gonna be following William Woods. You know, wish you guys great luck at Big Man U. Hey, if you're a big man, I'm gonna be one school that's gonna look at you. If you are back to the basket big and you ain't got no offers, I'm calling Charles Belt immediately. But he might already got him. So, like, I don't know. You might have missed out on Big Man U. He got a friend already. Everything. All right. You might not be available, but I'm gonna call him for sure. So thanks for coming on the podcast, Coach. We'll be in touch, and good luck this season.
Love it, brother. Appreciate you.
All right. Talk to you soon.
You know it, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir.